Hi, I'm Cecile, and today we are going to talk about Vocabulum, a learning app designed to help children and teenagers study their lessons in a more entertaining and efficient way. Please meet Agathe, my user, a 12-year-old French girl. She is in 7th grade and studies English and Spanish at school. Agathe loves to learn new topics all the time. Her teacher focuses on one topic per week with new vocabulary every time. Therefore, her goal is to make custom theme-centered lists to remember everything. She is also looking to improve her pronunciation to be ready to speak up in class. She understands better when she translates the words or associates them with some illustration. Agathe's challenges are to learn a weekly lesson and to keep track of her achievements. Also, she has a monthly exam and she needs to review a selection of lessons at once. Thus, the problem statement would be that Agathe needs a way to learn a weekly lesson of new vocabulary and keep track of her progress because she has a monthly exam at school and she needs to review all of it at once to be ready. I believe children are more eager to study if it's done with a touch of fun and keep them entertained. Agathe doesn't want to spend time on writing one revision card per word, and her parents aren't always available to help her study. I want Agathe to be able to create a list easily and in an interactive way. The app should give her study tools to help her memory, whether it's visual, auditive, or contextual. Also, languages are made to be spoken, and we should help Agathe feel confident to speak by providing a full pronunciation training. It should include listening, talking while recording, and comparing yourself. With Vocabulum, Agathe could build her own evolutive dictionary and boost her study sessions. Thus, the hypothesis statement focuses on our belief that by creating an app for Agathe where she can create and review a list of vocabulary every week with visual cards and understanding oral tools while offering a clear progress system to her, we will achieve building our own evolutive dictionary and simplifying her monthly training sessions. So now I'm wondering what feature should the app offer? How to organize them all, how to make it easier for Agathe, and how to give her an enjoyable experience. Well, first of all, she needs to create those study lists, and we need to help her do it in the most efficient way possible. With Vocabulum, to create your cards, you simply take a picture of your written list and it automatically gives you access to a customable set. Each flashcard is already equipped with one word, one illustration, and a pronunciation button on front. And on the back, you can find a definition and the translation of this word. Then, Agathe needs to test her knowledge. And if she has any need to translate the word instantly, she can always use the record feature provided by Vocabulum. But we'll get back on those features later. With all of this in mind, I started to some faster sketching to get the main ideas on paper. Some navigation appeared with the well-known button bar navigation and the user flows were getting in shape. Once things got more organized, it was time to draw the low-fidelity wireframes that will give life to the first prototype of the app. This step focused on content and basic designs where I started to put some signifier to improve the UX, like on the arrow on the onboarding screen. Proportion and hierarchy were another evolution from the fast sketches. As you can see, the prominent item on the home screen, inviting Agathe to create a first list. I also gave a little sense of what the wording should be in order to reach my target audience. And finally, it was time to start prototyping. After thinking things through in the information architecture phase and drawing the main user flows, it was clear like water to link everything together. Whether it was to create a list, to test a custom set, or to record a word, the main focus is simplicity. Navigation and settings should be easy and fast to go through before the user can access his goal and get what he is looking for in the first place. Therefore, all three main features can be found in the bottom bar navigation. It is now time to start testing this first prototype with some willing participants. I organized the usability test around 5 tasks focused on those 3 features we just talked about, but also verifying the usual settings were set properly for my users. On task 1, Theo, Olivia and Bemba, my 3 testers, were asked to sign up to Vocabulum. It showed a cosmetic problem linked to the onboarding session. User would automatically skip it, therefore not discovering any of the features before starting to use the app. With task 2, starting from the home screen, participants were invited to find out how to create their own list. This showed no problem at all, as they all completed the task in a few seconds. They accessed the feature through the home screen, guided in their action by its hierarchy, as we talked about it before. They also instantly understood the tools and its use, and expressed their pleasant surprise. In the follow-up question, they confirmed the wording was on point. Task 3 was much more tricky as we were trying to test the record feature. It emphasized some minor usability problem as the participant didn't understand the scenario at first. Several things played their part in this issue. First of all, no participant was aware of the record features as they skipped onboarding and didn't look at the navigation to complete task 2. Also, the scenario was filled with content which influenced the testers. Then, they were starting the task from the library screen following task 2. Therefore, they thought they had to look for an existing word in this library. I should also put to light the fact that the test was conducted in French, where record and save translate into the same word, leading again to some open interpretation of the task. But finally, they took a look at the navigation and then everything became obvious. Olivia even saw the direct reference to her use of Google Home when she asked it, "Google Home, how do you say this word in English?" This task led to great learnings about wording and interview script. Task 4 put the test back on track and asked the participant to test a custom set of lists and check the detail of the score. One minor usability problem was linked to this task, with one user who had difficulty with the second part of this task. Check the details. It appeared the wording and display of this option on the score screen was a bit unclear and in need of improvement. Though Bemba was positively touched by this experience. With the last task, we were back on the usual settings with the sign out scenario. All 3 participants went back automatically to the home screen, which shows a cosmetic problem, although their second thought was to go to their profile, where they found the appropriate action to complete the task. For now, no changes will be made. In fact, we are not looking for the users to sign out that easily and access the exit button right from the home screen, but it should also be kept accessible enough not to create any frustration for the user. Following the usability test, some improvements were made to create a second prototype. The skip button for the onboarding session is now less prominent. it should be tested again to see if the user's natural behavior is impacted or not. If I ideate on the fact that onboarding is always kept by Agathe, I would like to draw attention to the peculiar record feature in another way. Therefore, I could use some help bubble along the way during the first use of Vocabulum. Also, this feature would need to be put to the test again with careful chosen words. And finally, some improvement was given to the score screen with a new button to access the results and the use of a slightly different wording. To go further, I would like to complete my feature by building some missing wireframes options, specifically with the ability to customize the flashcards, where a user could change the illustration, remove the pronunciation button, or even add its own definition. I would start drawing some mid-fidelity wireframes in order to help the user focus on his experience while testing Vocabulum, at least for the bottom bar navigation, to give a feeling of clarity in the main flow. Usability tests are key, and any change should go through it again and again until we get the right answer for our design. Though I should be very careful about the wording I used. Explore some more complex scenarios and go again with a new set of participants with fresh eyes on the product. Once the main features and options are settled, I should go back and on the test flows and content. I only sketched a very small sample of it while working on the welcoming settings, but it would need much more research to understand what exercises children actually find helpful, but also what exercises they find enjoyable. With this chapter of the course, I learned that UX is a step-by-step process, where everything built on the previous knowledge you just acquired. Meeting the users and getting to know them was thrilling for me, and actually even cheering as I was working with children. They tend to say what they think instantly. They don't focus only on the bad, but also generously share the good. Creating a persona thinking about those 6 kids I interviewed was inspiring and fun. I was able to picture Agathe clearly in my mind and keep her needs in check along the way. Sketching wireframes and putting my ideas on paper always feels good. You can see something is building up. I also know now that you should always go back to the user. When I was ideating on my wireframes and when in doubt, I went back to Agathe's profile just to see how she would think about it. Would she really enjoy this feature? Would she understand those words? Would she need to do that? And now, I start looking at everything around me with a different eye, looking for inspiration and references to input into my designs. I also met a few bumps along the way. And I need to remind myself every day that designing something, anything actually, is time-consuming. That's also the reason why I have to remember to anticipate more time than what I first assume any task would take me. I know I have a lot to learn about wording and interview scripts, and I can't wait to learn more, practice more, and put my knowledge to the test in order to improve myself. And this way, I should be able to get more confident and get more and more natural during the interviews, allowing me to help my participants in return and put them at ease in the same time. This presentation is coming to an end. I thank you for sharing this time with me and getting to know Agathe and Vocabulum.